In this presentation, we will take a look at multiple choice questions related to responsibility accounting, going through the question and then practicing test taking skills with them. First question, incurs costs without generating revenue is A, service center, B, production center, C, profit center, D, maintenance center, or E, cost center. Go through this again using the process of elimination. Incurs costs without generating revenue is a service center. So service center, we might think service center could sound reasonable. We have services possibly that don't have the revenue. B says the production center. It doesn't sound, it could be that we produce stuff there and it doesn't have revenue. I'll keep it for now. C says the profit center. Now that clearly indicates that there's some type of profit or revenue, so it doesn't seem like C would be it. D says a maintenance center, and that might be something that has costs with no revenue. And E says a cost center, and that sounds like a familiar center that has costs and doesn't mention revenues. Let's go through this again. Incurs costs without generating revenue is A. Now, when we think about these centers, we want to think about the ones that are going to be most kind of familiar to us as we think about these different types of centers that we have. A service center, a production center, a maintenance center, or a cost center. Note when we're trying to break these things out, the cost center should sound familiar. The profit center should sound familiar. Those are the main two centers. And then there's an investment center, which is going to be managing investments. But the two main that we would probably think most about for the day-to-day operations, profit center, cost center. So that's going to be it's going to be E of these items. Now note, you could argue that, a maintenance center, maybe that is a cost center, or a service center, maybe that's a service, an internal service that's being provided, and maybe the company calls it a service center. That could be the case, but the typical term that we're using here for the responsibility accounting would be the cost center, and you want to choose obviously the best answer for it. So final answer, incurs costs without generating revenue is E, cost center. Next question, the difference between a profit center and an investment center. A, an investment center has costs but not directly revenues. B, an investment center has no costs but does have revenues. C, an investment center is responsible for investments made. D, a profit center provides services to profit centers. And E, an investment center is also a profit center. Let's go through this again using the process of elimination. Difference between a profit center and an investment center. A, an investment center has costs, but not directly revenue. So an investment center, you would think they're investing in something and that you would have revenue of some kind. It would be long-term revenue most likely. So I don't think it would be A. B, an investment center has no costs, but does have revenue. So any kind of center is probably going to have costs. So it's not likely that they're going to have revenue but no costs, because obviously someone's going to have to at least manage the center and they're going to apply that out, or going to have employees of the center. So it doesn't seem like B would be good. An investment center is responsible for investments made, and that would sound reasonable. So unless maybe the profit center has investments as well. D, a profit center provides services to profit centers. So a profit center provides services to profit centers. Well, that might be true. And then E says an investment center is also a profit center. And we might consider that. So I'm going to keep the C, D, and E and go through this again. Difference between a profit center and an investment center. Either C, an investment center is responsible for investments made. D, a profit center provides services to profit centers. Or E, an investment center is also a profit center. Now, the one that seems the most obvious there, you would think would be C, because an investment center is responsible for investments made. That sounds reasonable. It's almost too reasonable. E, you might think this would be the case. Investment center is also a profit center. They're similar in nature in that they might have revenue and they might have costs. They're going to have costs and revenue, hopefully. However, the investment center difference is that the investments are usually going to be investment type activities, longer term type of activities. So that's why it's not E. They're not the same thing, or one isn't the same thing as the other, right? So they're different centers altogether. And then D, profit center provides services to profit centers. This isn't going to be the difference. C is actually the final answer. Difference between a profit center and an investment center. C, an investment center is responsible for investments made.